Good afternoon, people. The infamous M and PJT. Rate my beer. If you haven't watched us, welcome to the channel. If you have, I hope you're enjoying the reviews and content. Yeah, one way of looking at it. As you've seen from the thumbnail, we're doing a Franziskaner Keller. There's a big backstory to that, which is like basically it was due to our foresight that came on the machine.
Yeah, or badgering.
Well, yeah, 2 years hounding when Perfectdraft or Perfectdraft back then. Not so much now, but yeah, we obviously drank this beer in Munich over a few years. Michelle actually preferred it to a certain favourite of mine, which I won't go into. But we're all different. There's been some things with the cans and the bottles lately, with the things with the keg. So I said, well, why we've got a keg of that you're drinking through, which he's drinking, not me. Why not give it a go? So I got a bottle in when I did another order, didn't I?
Yeah. So bottle
and keg. And last time there was a hell of a lot of difference. Although that was some time ago when it first came out. So I'll go and get the bottle, would help, wouldn't it? Yeah. I'll get the bottle, hold on. Does help, doesn't it? I worry about, I should have come back. Right, yeah. And then I'll come back down here and pour it.
Yeah.
Oh no, you can't pour it, can you?
It depends how wide the bottle is.
I'm just thinking, we don't want to do a...
I can't stretch my hand really. Yeah,
Right,
no, I can do that one.
You sure? Right, yeah. I'm going to go and pour because it's on the machine down there. So you'll get that coming loud and clear. I couldn't find the Keller glass, everyone. I think we've got two of them there, but...
Make sure I get all those bits.
There you go, you got that. Almost as good as mine. Almost spot on, look at that for identical.
There we go.
Look at that for two identical heads. Wow. Okay. Again, to me,
it's looking slightly darker
that
isn't
side.
It? Yeah.
It's unfiltered, it's unfined. Let's say Michelle's picked that in some Franziskaner in Munich over everything else they offer.
Yeah.
And also in the ABV one as well. So it's probably would it be your personal favourite on the machine?
For me, I just find this so easy drinking. It's one of those ones that just really flows whenever, whatever.
I mean, remember it's a Kellerbier, so it's aged in the cellar, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than going too much into that, you can always Google that. But it's 5.2% ABV. As I say, the keg was one we were really proud to get because it went on and they were thinking about it, and it really meant a lot to us. Although it was meant to be launched here, but never was. But yeah. Things changed by then. It was almost launched in this bar. So there you go. It was close.
It was close.
It was close, but I was great. You know, it was great of Dan because Dan absolutely put his neck on the line to get this out, and you know, I think Dan did a absolutely great job.
Yeah, it was wonderful to have this common keg. It's like Paul says, it's been an absolute favourite of mine. Going travelling in Germany, I just love it. I find it so easy to drink. Yeah,
obviously the bottle came from Beers of Europe, by the way. Obviously the keg came from Perfectdraft. You can get the bottle sometimes cheaper from Redneck's Barn. Yeah. So I say, I'm definitely sure that that's darker.
Yeah, it's looking that way to me.
This is the standard Franziskaner glass, but it's better than none.
How far through the keg is that now?
It is quite far through.
I think that's probably why.
Goldrake's been at it.
I think that's probably why.
So that, yeah, it could be a good point there, good point, which again is the enhancement of a keg compared to a bottle, because the bottle 9 out of 10 times is going to be the same.
The heads are very similar, holding quite well, both of them.
Mainly small bubbles, but a few bigger bubbles floating around in them. But I mean, I don't mind this, don't get me wrong, but I kind of gone more along the way of Pilsners and wheat beers lately, haven't I?
Aroma-wise, they're smelling quite similar as well.
Yeah, you've got that Kellerbier smell, which is quite a pronounced smell, isn't it? You know that it's the rich roastiness and and the malts and that, but you know, you can say what you like. It don't make much difference, I think. But
I'm going to start with the bottom.
right, with the bottle first, which was an absolute favourite of yours. We actually brought a case of them once from Germany, didn't we? A long time ago. That's when you used to get Franziskaner Kellerbier as well.
Yeah, that's one.
As you can see, that is. Oh yeah.
It is good, isn't it?
Yeah, I always leave that to her because kind of I've got my favourites, you have yours, and it's always like, even if I like something, if it's her favourite, although she drinks my favourites and don't care, but I kind of think, oh, it'll be nice. Because the last time we did this, although it was some time ago, upon the original release, we said different gravy.
Yeah, it still is. For me, the flavours are more pronounced. The body feels more rich, but I think that again could be because it's getting towards the end of the keg.
Well, it's only halfway through, I think. It's not really, well, maybe a little bit over half, but yeah, the bottle delivers. Let's not make any mistake on that. But there does seem, you know, you've got that lovely, there's a sweetness in the malt that you get from a Kellerbier that it's hard to explain.
It's one of those ones that I really, really love. I find really, really difficult to say exactly what I'm tasting, and that's quite rare for me.
Yeah, she's not normally quiet.
There's a tad of honey in there.
Could be honey. Yeah, it's, I'd say I don't claim to be an expert at anything, but you can taste. You know, we've all got taste buds. I mean, some of them. There's some.
It may be even a slight bit of like golden syrup or treacle or something. It's not overwhelming, but there's enough there to give you that feeling of yum. That's nice.
But yeah, you get your sweetness. Although your sweetness runs through it, but then you get the bitterness at the end, which is kind of counteracting.
Yeah, it's nice balance.
And yeah, it does. It balances it off fine. I'm not so into it, I must admit, on another point as I used to be. But it's a great alternative. You know, you're not picking this up in a supermarket like that Peroni and Singular anytime soon, are you? I say there's very few places that you can get that imported into the UK. And you talk about the keg, and there is more depth to it.
The flavours for me are just coming through just that bit more pronounced. Just that little bit richer.
But there is a lot of similarities as well. And what you've got to remember, if you're buying that from Beers of Europe, I think it was about £3.30 or something. So it'd be much for much. I think if it would work out, if you were getting the proper discount on your keg and your free multi-pack, your keg would probably be cheaper.
Oh, a slight bit of fig, honey, yeah. And it really, for me actually, the more I'm sipping of these two, this one just feels so much more flavour, more body to it. It is better for me.
Okay.
It's not to say the bottle's bad, it's a good representation of it, but it just feels a little bit lacking.
Yeah, I kind of, I think there's more to the keg, but the bottle is a good representation of what you're going to get in a keg. You know, if you're not sure and you order from Beers of Europe, or you know someone that orders from Beers of Europe, or Marcus obviously, if he's back full time, which hopefully he is, then you can go on that way rather than 10 on pints.
The other thing is, the bottle is slightly more carbonated, which for this style of drink, you want it to be smooth. You shouldn't have a lot of carbonation to it at all. It should just be there. And it just feels that bit smoother, that little bit less carbonated.
Yeah, I don't know, what more can we say? Try not to go on for so long.
Yeah. We usually battle on a bit, don't we?
We try not to, try and get to the points, but for me, there's not that much in it, but yeah, there is more in the keg. But I think the bottle's improved compared to last time. Either the bottle's improved or the keg's gone lower. So that's just my thing. She's kind of not agreeing with that and not going in, not going to go down that road on this one.
Go down that road.
Which is fair enough.
Let's not start a big debate about it.
So, rather than us gabbling on any longer, we'll go on the keg. What can I say? Thanks for watching. Thanks for your continued support. Do like,
thanks everyone.
share, and all that stuff. Bonjour.